Hi everyone, this is Kevin Dart from the Fastener Lab, and in this video I just want to show you how to prepare your files for laying things out, specifically for things like the CNC machine or plasma cutting, anything two-dimensional that you need, taking a 3D object and then laying it out so you can cut it with 2D tools. Anyway, this file right here is from a former student, and it's not a bad file. There's just some little things that we can fix and adjust. And we'll go through that process and lay it out so that when you're ready you can also do the same thing and have a good file. So the first thing I'm noticing with this is that some of our pieces are a little off. So for example, if I see this piece right here, this piece isn't exactly perpendicular, the backing of the chair here. And so what I want to do is I just want to make sure that this is parallel, and that'll make sure that everything's even. Now, if I don't do that and it's cut out later, these two sides of the chair will have different holes in it. So I want to make sure that it's all the same. So one thing I can do is I can just come up here to transform, rotate tool, and then it's going to ask me for certain things here on the left. It's going to ask me for the center of rotation, and I'm just going to pick one edge. It's going to ask me for a second point, starting point. I'm going to pick this other edge. And if I hold shift down, that'll keep things nice and straight. It'll keep whatever I'm rotating, it'll lock it to the X or Y axis. Or Z, depending on which view I'm in. So I can see that, yes, I am a little bit off there, so I'm just going to go ahead and click there, and now it's nice and straightened out. Let's see here. Another thing is that when I zoom in, let's see, that side's fine. This side, you see how this bottom chair, it's supposed to have these little pieces join into the side of the chair, but it's sticking out. I want to move that over a little bit. I can just hold shift again and grab it and move it, or I can move my gumball tool. And it looks like I don't need to be super precise. I want to get relatively precise. So I'm going to get as close as I can here, and same thing on the other side. Here we go. And we're relatively close there, but one thing I see here is that if these were to fit together right now, it would wobble a little bit because the joint up here, it doesn't have a shoulder like this right here. It doesn't have anything to rest on, so it could move freely left or right when it's inside its little hole there. So I just want to kind of add what's called a shoulder to keep it in place. And the way I can do that is I can use a C-plane or create a new construction plane over here in the View, Set C-plane, Set a Mobile Construction Plane, which it looks like it's already there, but I'm guaranteed it's changed because we've rotated it. So I'm just going to double-click my perspective view so I can just work in that view. Working a little slow today. There we go. So now what I can do is I can come up here to View, Set C-plane, and Set a Mobile Construction Plane. And then it's going to ask me to select what object I want to attach it to. Now there's also the nice thing about Mac Rhino is it gives you a little help information here describing what happens or kind of what steps you need to take if you would like to look into it further. So I'm just going to go ahead and click the object. Oops, jumped ahead there. Go back to Mobile Construction Plane, click the object, I'm going to attach it to it. It's going to ask me for what's my origin point. And you really want to pick a good corner that is nice and flat or relatively 90-degree angle. So that I can pick a good XY axis. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick here. My snaps are on, and I'm going to pick this edge. So that's my X-axis, and then I can actually put my Y-axis wherever I want. But this is a logical choice right there. And then I can hit done. And so the mobile construction plane is now, if I rotate it, I can see that it's kind of hard to see, but it's attached to these lines. So now to actually view it in its flat view, I can go to set view plane, and that's going to set it to set active view to plane view of that seaplane. Oh, why didn't you do that? There we go. And everything looks pretty good. Things might be just a little off somewhere. You can see I can see a sliver of the inside face of this chair. But for this project, it's not a big concern. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add in that shoulder relatively quickly. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the edges of that poly surface. I'm going to go to curve from objects, and I'm going to say duplicate face border, and I'm just going to click this face. Oh, and now I have that face. Let's go back and look at it from an isometric view, perspective view, and I picked the right one. Because I can also accidentally pick the backside. Oops. Well, that's fine. I actually don't need that. I'm going to get rid of it because I'm going to make a new one with a new shoulder. So now that I have this border, what I can also do is find where it intersects with these parts. I can just highlight all the pieces, and I can come over here to this tool where it's got the project curves. Hit this little arrow, and I can come down and find the object intersection, and there we go. It comes up with these multiple points. So now I'm just going to go back to my view, set view, plane, and I've got these nice points to work off of. And what I can do is I can just add a little shoulder, or instead of intersection, I'm going to do point. Little time. What's this? Channel. No. And what I'm doing right now is I'm just connecting the ends of the lines that I just added, because I'm going to show you a trick that makes things nice and easy. For right now, I'm going to actually hide the sides of my chairs. I'm just going to select it, go to View or Edit, Visibility, and I'm just going to hide them right now. And I'm also going to hide that. I can do Command H. It's a Mac, so super familiar with all the quick keys. So now I've got this rectangle. I'm just going to join these rectangles together to make a single one. Come up here to puzzle piece, join. So now I've got all of those. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to then come up here to curve, curve edit tools, curve Boolean. I'm going to select all of these curves. And then I'm just going to select all the inside curves. That way I don't really have to bother with doing any sort of cutting or anything like that. And there we go. I got my little shoulders there. So I'm going to hit done. And now I've got, you see this outline, this nice looking thing here, which is good. And I probably have double lines here that I don't need, so then now I have to come over and select the curves I want to keep or delete. So I'm just going to select the ones that I want to delete. And I don't need double curves there. And then what I can do is I can turn this into a surface, select all of that, come back up here to surface, and just do planar curves. Now I've got a surface. And then I can select this surface and extrude surface straight. And I'm going to say -0.5 because that's the thickness of my material, and negative because it's going into the plane. I'm going to hit done. And then if I come back to view, perspective view, I should see that my chair is there. And edit, visibility show. So now this piece should fit right there on the shoulder, which is good. And now next what I'll talk about is doing some booleans to these poly surfaces to get some holes in them.